Welcome back to Zubaydah Al Arabiya's channel. Today I wanted to highlight the Cage report, which finds French government's Islamophobia reaches threshold of persecution. Cage is a London-based advocacy organisation which aims to empower communities impacted by the war on terror. The report comes 4 years after the commencement of the anti-Muslim policies. The analysis demonstrates how the measures amounts to a persecution of Muslims in France as defined by international law. Let's first start off with a brief history of Islamophobia in France. In December 2017, President Emmanuel Macron requests the Minister of the Interior, Gérard Collomb, to direct his attention to the regions from where some French Muslims departed to join Syria and Iraq during the Arab Spring. In February 2018, Secret Plan, later known as the Plan to Fight Radicalization, an Islamophobic policy targeting mosques, Islamic schools or any Muslim-run businesses, is implemented in 15 unknown areas of the country. No official statement or document was published announcing it. 28th of November 2019, former Minister of the Interior Christopher Castaner unveils the existence of the anti-radicalization policy, as well as its outcomes and mechanics in an address to the prefect. First 2 years of this policy results in 1,030 controls of public establishments believed to be run by Islamists. 29th of August 2021, Anti-Separatism Bill enacted into law. 27th of August 2021, Licite Secularism campaign trying to eradicate religious beliefs is launched in public primary and secondary schools. 28th of September 2021, French Minister of the Interior announces the future dissolution of 10 organizations as part of the fight against separatism and declares that we are starting to spread terror. 29th of September 2021, French Islamic Publishing House NAWA and the African Defence League are dissolved by the government. 5th of January 2022, 2 Muslim organizations managing a mosque and Quranic schools are dissolved by the government. After the murder and beheading of schoolteacher Samuel Paty in Paris by Abdullah Anzarov in October 2020, Emmanuel Macron held a meeting with some of his advisors and is alleged to have said that fear must change sides. I want Islamists to feel in danger at any time of the day or night. According to the report, France is taking a hardline approach by outlawing a worldview it doesn't tolerate Islamism and forcefully replacing it with the ideology of the state. As a consequence, the French state is targeting Islamic beliefs, i.e., Islam as a religion and hence the entire Muslim community, by framing them as the seed of a social threat, even if such threat is not necessarily violent. A February 2021 televised debate bore witness to the grim spectacle of current Minister of the Interior, Gérald Darmanin, accusing far-right presidential candidate Marine Le Pen of going soft on Islam.
Dans sa stratégie de dédiabolisation, on revient à être quasiment un peu dans la mollesse. Je vous trouve, faut vous reprendre des vitamines. Vous n'êtes pas assez dur, je trouve là.
Je vous confirme que je n'entends pas m'attaquer à l'islam, qui est une religion comme une autre, et auquel, parce que je suis profondément attaché à nos valeurs françaises, je souhaite leur conserver la liberté totale d'organisation et la liberté totale de culte. Voilà, ça c'est mon opinion. En revanche, l'islamisme est une idéologie que l'on doit et que l'on...
In the section of the Cage report, Maximum Pressure, the Systematic Obstruction Policy, a bunch of statistics have been released by the French government. 24,887 systematic order controls have been carried out. 718 Muslim organizations have been closed down or dissolved by the state. 46 million has been seized. On average, this amounts to 27 investigations a day, 15 closures a month, and 10 million seized a year. According to a 2019 poll, 61% of the French population believe Islam to be incompatible with the values of the Republic, and 80% believe secularism to be threatened, creating the perfect ground for legitimizing the state's direct intervention. Cage concludes their report by stating, "The presidency of Emmanuel Macron has been the most oppressive for French Muslims in recent history. Whatever the outcome of the 2022 presidential election, this will be a legacy that stretches beyond his term in office. the intense institutionalization of a state-led persecution of Muslim civil society in France. France is a country racked by contradictions and deep insecurities. Despite being heralded as a supposed beacon of stability upon his election, seeing off challenges from the far right Marine Le Pen and Jean-Luc Mélenchon, from the left, Macron's term has seen the country sink into a series of conflagrations and crisis, with the state's response constantly pushing the boundaries of violent repression. Roots of French Islamophobia run deep. The intractable nature of France's crisis looks to translate into increased abuse of Muslims in the country over the coming years, stirred up by the French government for political gain. For despite these radical and far-reaching measures taken by the government, the entire French political spectrum still regards Islam and Muslims as issues that have not been sufficiently dealt with. The current presidential campaign proves this very point. It is reasonable to expect the future president, be it Emmanuel Macron, Marine Le Pen, Eric Zemmour or Valérie Pécresse, will not only maintain the structure of the systematic obstruction policy, but seek to augment and expand executive power to target Muslims. And finally, adding no doubt there will be some reading this text who will applaud the policies of France against so-called extremism. However, as we have seen, the term is amorphous and malleable and changes to suit the needs of the superstate that is erected on the back on the war of terror. Today it may be Muslims, a disenfranchised and improvised minority community, but tomorrow it will be any section of society that poses an organizational or ideological challenge.